Yes, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, tankers of Blitz Universe, to the channel. My name is martindogger and I make videos that will hopefully help you improve your gameplay in World of Tanks Blitz. And today we're gonna take a look at 5 essential tanks in tier 5. So basically it's a bit of a new player's guide. These suggestions, these 5 tanks, they do not come out of mid-air, just being there, just me basically picking a dart arrow, throwing them on the board and then figuring out, right, these are the 5 tanks I will feature in this video. No, I actually did some research. I put up a poll on my community page of the channel and we're looking at the tier 5 light tank of choice according to my subscribers. And here's a screenshot of the result from the poll. You can see a whopping 60% went to the Leopard, the tier 5 German light tank. And what did I ask my subscribers basically? What light tank currently in the tech tree taught you the most? Not the one you thought to be most fun. Because the Leopard, before it was nerfed, it was, well, kind of OP, I think. It had a really big clip. It had that burst damage in the magazine. It doesn't have a clip, it has a magazine. I think it had 4 shots in there with 3 shells per burst, so 12 shots in total. If you would run these around in a experienced platoon, then you could really tear around and just murder KV-1s, other tanks, just set tanks on fire. It was really a machine of doom and justice. And it still is a strong tank. Because it has good penetration on its gun. It's a Mark MK103 gun, which is basically an anti-aircraft gun. But what this tank teaches you is to be effective with your hit points, to run around on the flanks, to scout up, and come to think of it, it also has a 50mm gun, maybe a 37mm one, I'm quite sure. But that gun could well be a viable choice as well. And you can see what is happening here. That's a red Leopard as well. And he knocked off 100 of my hit points very easily by just basically spray and pray tactics, spray and pray techniques. You just aim the gun, point and click, and just unload your magazine. It's not a tank of real finesse, as you can see. And I'm being very cautious here because the team was spreading around. I wasn't quite sure where the rest of the Reds were. Then we spotted that M4, but that tank wasn't engaged. And I'm really curious to see what is happening here. And once I start moving, once the playing field has been laid out, once I've figured out where all the enemies are, then we can start working on unsuspecting targets. Because that's what you want to do in the Leopard, or basically any auto-loading tank. Go to an unsuspecting target who is alone, hopefully at around 100 to 150 hit points, and support tank destroyers like this. This is an 82. That is a fixed gun tank destroyer, which means that it has to traverse, and an 82 is really slow in terms of traversing. And SU-152 is slow as well. We bump into him just a little bit with the front of the track. So we knock him down, knock his tracks off, and then we can unload the magazine into his butt for 236 in terms of damage. And this is not a brilliant game, and it's coming down to the wire, as you can see, but I wanted to keep that 82 alive. And that's something that this tank, the Leopard, really teaches you to do. You can still run around like a maniac, just unloading constantly, but if you face a KV-1S or a KV-2 and you face heavy tank players that know what they are doing, and you can face those at these tiers, and there's instances where you face drivers that really have no clue whatsoever, but you do face them. And if you then would just run in 650 hit points, that's good, that's good. It's not brilliant, it's not really large, but 650 hit points, they can disappear very quickly if you run into the likes of a KV-1S. Or a KV-2 or an ARL or any tank at tier 6 basically, because you have lost a lot of burst potential when they nerfed the magazine. But then again, any tank at around 100 or lower, just shoot them, point click, you're almost guaranteed to hit a few shots. And now it's just plain sailing for me. There's 73 left on the red Leopard. We can chase him down. The 82 has finally picked up some speed, but he's just way too slow to run around. We do crest the ridge over here, and a nice airtime, and then shoot him up the ass for 4 kills in this game. Righty. You had already seen this before. The heavy tank was no surprise. It's, well, the classic one. The daddy of all tanks heavy in the game, and maybe even in World War II, it is the KV-1. If you haven't driven this one, go get it. Just go get it. You need to be able to drive a KV-1. It teaches you so much about going frontline, about side scraping, about angling, about using that big gun. It has a good gun of, I think, 200 alpha damage per shot, the big one. It has been slightly nerfed after the big change in, was it again, update 5.5? It has been nerfed a bit. So the reload is not as quick as it used to be. It also has a 57mm gun with really good penetration values and really high DPM. But you can see you have to be able to park this tank into the front line and then bounce shot after shot after shot. I'm going to take damage in this game as well because reasons, and because I over angle. You have fairly weak drive wheels, as you can see. You have a weakish front plate, not really weak but weakish. But as long as you can keep your front angled towards any unsuspecting enemy, then you can do well. And my main focus here is to get a shot into either that Wolverine or the Type T-34 on top of the hill at the moment. He has to go down. If he doesn't go down, we're going to lose this one. Then Reds will have map control. And you can see I've been bouncing a fair few shots at 810 in total. That one bounces on the angled front plate of the Type T-34. But those tanks, the medium tanks, have been nerfed as well. They can't really compete in terms of DPM. So if you can put one big shot into Type T-34 and then have a medium behind you to support you, then yeah, you can do really, really well. And that's just what you should do in the tank. I'm loading AP again. I was going for APCR because I wanted to get the front plate of that the Wolverine straight through the front of a Churchill. And that tank has a 160 alpha gun. You get 200. You can easily and very comfortably damage trade. You can't really trade damage against a T-34 if you are being careless, which I'm going to be. But like I said, keep this tank angled, park your front into rocks, side scrape out as much as you can. There we go, yet another shot bounced. 970 blocked total. I'm happy to take this shot from the Churchill because I put him down into a one shot and he needs at least two for me. And the T-34 at the back is still trying to get shots in. There we go, 193, 73 left on you. Easy game. Went forward, held the line basically. And now my team is rolling and the campers behind me are going to move in over here. Maybe should have shot HE on this M8A1. But this is what you should do in the KV-1. Go frontline, go side scraping, angle that tank. That is what this one teaches you. It's an essential tier 5 heavy tank. If you haven't picked it up already, do get it. And if you are just new to World of Tanks Blitz, go get the KV-1. And you can't really go wrong with it. And speaking of new players, do check out my lengthy playlist, basic Blitz and tutorials in there. There's a lot about tactical stuff, but also basic stuff like how does spotting work. I have a few guides on medium tanks in there. Really extensive, well worth checking out. And if you are a new player, well, do click the subscribe button, set your notifications, and you will never miss an update again on videos of me. In the meantime, we've moved on towards the tank destroyers. And we're looking at the tier 5 German tank destroyer. There were two earlier in the game. We had the Death Toaster, and now it's only this one, the Stug III, the Sturmgeschütz, which was basically an assault gun in World War II, but it turned into a tank destroyer very much. And in Blitz, it's a really potent one. I have a full review on the channel, but that is still pre-nerf. But then again, the playstyle has not changed a lot. It is still a really mobile tank destroyer, as you can see here. It traverses really quickly, it has sleek lines, it is low to the ground, and it has a really, really good gun. But, being a tier 5 tank destroyer with, well, the most brilliant in terms of armor profile, you should be a bit careful if you are in tier 6, because you face an SU-100Y and the KV-1S and the KV-2. That's, I think, the biggest problem with tier 5 currently, you do face tanks that can really put a hurting on you, because they have far bigger guns than you have. If they then drive in front of you, you have just missed a shot. Thankfully, there's no such thing as friendly fire at the moment in Blitz. But you can see, going through the front of a VK36 ONH, no problem with the gun I have. And I was thinking that my fellow SU-100Y would be able to finish off that VK now, so I started working on the T14 and then shoot the gun, and so it doesn't penetrate, and he only takes him out now, which is a bit annoying, because there's a few tanks at the boat, and the T14 goes down, takes out the SU-100Y, and I'm in a bit of a sticky situation now. Luckily, bouncing shots. No idea where and why on the tracks. Yeah, apparently so. Yeah. Okay, right. The T14 then takes out the other T14. Sorry about that. There was not a shot into you, in just saying, well, hello, you're dead now, and I'm not. It was just I thought I still had to kill you, but you were dead already. Anyways, what will the Sturmgeschütz 3 teach you? It will teach you to snipe, because it is a sniper tank on account of the gun. It will teach you to relocate at the proper moment, because it has to relocate because of the mobility. And it will also teach you how to be, well, really effective in a support role. It is not a brawler tank because it hasn't got a turret. It's a fixed gun tank destroyer. It will teach you to sit in map positions where you have long lines of sight and where you can just keep shooting basically without hopefully getting spotted. If you haven't got the lookout bar at the bottom right, you can see it over there, enabled yet, please do so. It is essential, really essential if you are playing a turretless tank destroyer. And there's a few more really good tips in a video. Again, a link in the top right hand side corner of the screen. Ready? We've had the lights, we've had the heavies, we've had the tank destroyers. Let's take a look at the medium tank of choice according to my subscribers, and they've picked this one, the T-34. Russian tank, Russian medium tank, classic one, also in World War II, and it is famed for, well, giving the Germans a really bad day when they invaded Russia in 1940. The first models of the T-34, however, were not that good. They had that sloped hull, but the interior was really cramped and it wasn't a really comfortable machine to operate. But in Blitz, it's a really good one. You have a choice of guns. I prefer this one, the long barrel gun. It does not do a lot of damage per shot, but it has a good aim time, it's accurate, it has a high rate of fire and good penetration as well. And you can see you can just keep chewing through a German Leopard and then shoot him again, and he is, well, trying to get some shots into us, but we clear him out. I'm playing this one on the CC account because I haven't got a T-34 in my garage anymore, and I didn't want to buy another tank just for this video basically. I still had the KV-1 and a few of the other tanks, so have used those. And what does the T-34 teach you? Well, it teaches you to relocate again. That's what medium tanks in this game will always do. And you can see what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to move away, because I'm noticing we're gonna lose the top. We've lost the hill. We're being pushed on the northern side, and I didn't want to waste my hit points. It's a Matilda 4, which is of course a Matilda, but then with a bigger gun on top. And I really wanted to help our heavies here. I didn't want to get caught into a crossfire, and it was a good idea. I decided to move away because my team has fallen on the other flank as well, as you can see. It's a BDR over there, the Tier 5 French heavy tank. We have a, what's that, the DW2 I think. Can we kill either of them? Maybe the DW? No, he is down. Oh, sorry about that. Right, then we should be able to shoot this guy, the BDR. There we go, one shot. We haven't got adrenaline running yet. Can we shoot you again? Yes, we can. And then into him, bounce one on the front plate. And we've popped adrenaline, and we're going to clear him. Got off. Right. And now you can also see what happens if you try to engage a Stug III, a Stug III. He is fully equipped, fully loaded, as you can see. He bounces on my gun, thank you very much. But he has to run away now. He can't really engage me or the Tier 1 at the moment. The Matilda is still on the other side of the map, so it was a good idea of me to move away, to run away. And hopefully we will be able to clear this Stug III. Put one shot into him. No idea where the Matilda is, so I want to take him out. I want to kill him. Oh, hello, the Matilda's over there. Right, let's roll in and then clear the Stug first. And the 82 says, base idiots. No, well, we're not gonna go into the base. There's no need to go into the base because if I'm there, I can't support the Tier 1. And if I'm in the base, then the Matilda will know I'm there. And I do have the TPM advantage, but still, if I would get emerald, etc., I'm again relocating, as you can see. There's no problem for the T-34. It has really good mobility, goes up hills quite well, as you can see. The turret is small, has a hatch on top, but it's a tank that teaches you to relocate, to scout the flanks and then secure them, and then go back and support your team again. And it also teaches you how to brawl with just raw DPM, basically. It's not even a tank that is brawly in terms of having a big gun and doing big numbers damage, as you can see over here. I bounced one shot from the Matilda. This shot goes through. He's going to penetrate me, I think. There we go, through the front. Yeah, he's going to penetrate me in the side. But I bounced a few shots. And if you don't take a look at how many damage I bounced, I would have been killed if I hadn't been careful, if I hadn't relocated. So that's it, the top 4 tanks suggested by my community, by my subscribers. This is a personal favorite of mine. This is actually the tank that kind of got me into playing World of Tanks Blitz. It's an M4, it's an American tank, and I love American tanks. I don't like this. The H100Y dropped off the radar, and that caused me to miss a shot, and then I was gonna shoot the KB1. And then we shoot the tracks of the VK2801. But anyway, right, we'll go in over here again. We'll just drop down and we're gonna use the gun depression, because this tank is about gun depression. It hasn't got the high rate of fire of the T-34 with the 57mm gun. It has good mobility. It has a good turret, it has a good gun, it doesn't excel at anything, and I've said it before when it comes to American tanks. They don't excel at anything, but they're basically good at everything. They have no really big faults of their own. Sometimes they have a cupola on top, but the M4 just doesn't do that. It doesn't have a cupola on top. But what it can do is stuff like this. Just sit on a ridgeline and well, poke your gun over it and expose not too much of the tank, except, well, the front of the turret, which isn't brilliant. It's not impenetrable, especially if you are facing tier 6 tanks with big guns. I keep saying that tier 5 is a hard tier to play, because you do face tanks with really big guns, and your damage has been nerfed compared to tanks before 5.5, so new players in tiers 1 to 4 would stand a fighting chance against tanks with the statistics that they just had. It was the shift has been changed, the power shift has been changed. The tier 5 tanks have been balanced to make tier 4, well, at least somewhat enjoyable for new players. But that also means that you should be careful with a medium tank in tier 5. And I have them all covered on the channel. It's all old footage, but the basic playstyle, it still stands. Like I said, for me, the M4 is an essential one because it teaches you to play hull down and use elevations in the terrain, so you can use your gun depression, and we're gonna bounce a shot, dunk a shot into the ground. Luckily, the Nesson takes out the KV2, then I can clear the Panzer 4G. There we go, and we can then roll in, roll around, and also clear this Matilda 4 again. And that concludes the video. 5 essential tanks. 5 essential tanks in tier 5. Go get them if you haven't got them in your garage already. My name is martindogger. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you all on the next video. Cheers and happy tanking!